Anthony, I'm over here in Connecticut right now at Putnam, Connecticut, exactly, right next to my studio. We're about to hang out with one of my boys that has been a frequent guest at Wonderland Comics, man. That's right. We're about to have some fun and tune in. Don't you worry, homie. You can walk through. It's all right. Your comic geek just come in. Don't you worry. There's a signing here with my boy. So we're going to Wonderland, baby. Comics and collectibles. What a store this is. Go check it out. Look at this. Look at this shop, baby. Homie behind me does not want to be on camera, so go ahead. You could pass. Run, run. We're live here, but look at the shop, yo. And it's a dope shop. Looks great. All the new goodies on the shelf, baby. Wonderland Comics, Putnam, Connecticut. Don't mess around. This is where you gotta come to get things done. Get them books. They got a website and everything. It's a beautiful shop. They got a little bit of everything here: toys, comics. I mean, yeah, I'm old school, so I'm gonna be going over here. Look at that wild styling, baby. After the Olympics, you know, and seeing that atrocious performance from Australia. Yeah, you want to check out some real breakdancing? Check out right there. The Wild Stallions, bro. This is fun. I dig it. This is a great shop. As you can see, nice. It's a big shop too. They got everything up in this oh boy right here. Everything. Then we got goodies, you know what I mean? The old school pull boxes. We got some fire toys. But the whole reason for coming here is for this one man that I'm staring at right now. Although, listen, you know I'm a Villains fan, right? Look at that. Wepa! But I'm going to give a big weapon to my boy, Trevor Fernandez Linkevich. Wepa, how you doing, homie? Woo! We're live right now, kiddo. So what's up, brother? How do you feel being at Wonderland Comics here in Putnam, Connecticut, baby?
It's the best, man. It's one of the best comic book stores in the
You know what's funny? Hold on. I think I've been talking, and man, I've been grabbing my shit. Isn't that funny? It's fine. 3, 4, 5. In person, bro. Doing his thing. He is doing his thing.
We're cooking.
And yeah, about to really start cooking on some real business.
Al, this is Ryan. Ryan Best. Al Mega. How's it going?
Mr. Ryan, what's poppin', bro? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, well, high five. I mean, absolutely. Listen, I've spoken to Ryan several times on our podcast, Comic Crusaders podcast. You family, you guys know this. So, what's up, man? Talk about this signing, what we're talking about here today, and talk about this creative partner, because this is the mystery man that I've heard about so much, and now I get to see him in person. Let's go.
Yeah, so this is Ryan. We are currently working on a new age superhero project called Rise. It's sort of an exploration of the perils of the male ego through the image of the perfect man or the Superman. And it's just us kind of trying to do a really emotional, intimate take on the genre while still treating the things we love about it with a lot of care. You know, we love superhero comics. It's what got us into the entire format to begin with, and as readers, as creators. So we felt like we had something to add, something truly different and unique. And, you know, we have an intimate story about a man who needs to learn to ground himself in order to truly be extraordinary, and kind of take that hero's journey and flip it on its head. And we've got one of the best working artists in comics, you know, knocking out covers and interior
Everything
pages.
Everything you just said sounds like trying to be a man in today's day and age.
Yeah, it is. It's about finding balance, right? Like not going to any one particular extreme, and just as a man, sort of getting your footing and finding your strength and your confidence in being the man that you want to look at in the mirror when you shave every day. There's a comfort in that.
You shave? I can't tell.
Not once.
I know homie shaves. He keeping it thin like I do, bro.
Yeah.
So, my brother, introduce yourself. Let the gente know over here where you from originally, origin story. I need that and what I need to know. Because, you know, he can't explain that for you. But what was the first thing in fandom that you ever fell in love with?
Oh, the first thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's so much.
There's got to be the number one, baby.
Number one, probably the animated Spider-Man series from the 90s. Like, really, I feel like that sealed the deal. I was like so obsessed with that, especially when Venom came into the came into the picture on that. That was just like, okay, I know what I'm doing the rest of my life kind of thing.
I have decided my life path
yeah, I was
on
like,
Venom.
okay,
You're
that
a
guy's
villain
so
fan,
cool.
apparently. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. Moved down to North Carolina when I was like 8 or 9. Grew up in North Carolina, and I've just basically been moving around ever since. I've been working full time in comics for 10 years now, doing freelance art for about 15.
15 years.
Yeah.
You're no rookie in the game.
No.
So talk about what made you dive into this creative experience. What happened? What was the day that you said, I want to be in this?
I don't know if there was one day. It was just I started drawing and I never stopped drawing. And then when it was time to go to college and try to pick a career, I found a really good illustration department in North Carolina that were very supportive. I've had very supportive parents that never questioned my desire to do this. So
I dig it. So, all right. So how is the comic book community where you were growing up? What era are we talking about?
I'd say I grew up around Charlotte, North Carolina. It has one of the biggest conventions in the Southeast. We have a lot of skilled comic book creators came out of the area that I was in too. So I went to school with people who are now working for DC, Marvel. I had mentors that worked for Marvel for years and years.
Hey.
And so I was just around it. So there's a lot of support amongst everybody who is equally as geeky, but also equally as into drawing and stuff. So we all kind of got into comics at the same time too.
So you had a tribe growing up. How did you find these folks?
Yeah.
What comic book are you carrying that day when they said, "Yo, I read too"?
It wasn't even carrying comic books. It was just seeing art around the art department and being oh, they're doing comics too. Oh, they're like me, that kind of thing. And so it was really just, just being around those people in art school. We just had a bunch of comic book nerds.
So, I know I probably asked Trouble this, but I want to ask you to see if there's any difference in the story. Because, when people meet for the first time, things are different.
Yeah.
The story gets told. So what is the story of the Promance over here? How did you meet Trev and get involved in this amazing project?
Yeah, we actually met at the comic book convention I was talking about, Heroes Con in North Carolina. Trevor was walking by my table. We started talking, and then he commissioned me to draw Damian Wayne for
on the
him.
spot?
Yeah.
He's good. He's talented.
He's the gangster. He knows. Let me challenge this man real quick.
So he got a Damian Wayne commission from me. I worked on it overnight, came back to pick it up. And then, I think that was the initial spark.
Yeah. That was the spark, man. Is he telling the truth? Is that what?
Yeah.
So what was it about his table, Trev, that made you kind of stop and say, "Yo, I need to probably check this out because this could be a potential collaborator"?
Well, because for me, one of the things I prioritize most in the comic book storytelling is expression and character acting, and believing that these characters are feeling and experiencing real things. And you look at Ryan's art, and it's so expressive, and it doesn't. It bridges that gap of being emotional without being too cartoony, right? Too bolsterous. It strikes a great balance. And so, when I commission artists for a personal commission at conventions, it's always me kind of seeing how they work. And that's always the first litmus test for, whether or not I'd like to broach the conversation of working together in the future. And so we hit it off, and we reconnected at New York Comic Con later that year. So this was almost exactly 2 years ago that we first met.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, just kind of hit it off. We kept talking, and I knew I wanted to do something with him. And so when it came time to actually do Minutes to Midnight, I had a story that was almost...
I want people to see this cover too. I mean, look at that beauty of a book, mi gente. Look at that. Dope collection right there. Uh-huh.
So we had one story in particular that was very conversational, and it was very emotional and character driven. And I knew that was the opportunity to kind of really test the waters between us collaboratively, to see if we could stick. And, it came out great. It's the story, I think, that's had the most surprisingly positive reception out of all of them. Not that I didn't think it wasn't, but I have so many people that always punctuate their comments on Minutes to Midnight with, and I got to the end of that story and cried. And to me, that is the ultimate linchpin, right? That's what you're going for. And we told an emotional story, and we knew we wanted to do something bigger. And it was at Heroes Con last year. I was we were a little bit buzzed on the Sunday of the show, and we had talked about like wanting to do something.
Nothing wrong with a good buzz, baby.
And I turned over to him and I was like, okay, I got a superhero idea, right? Like, and it's a thing that Al has seen me over the years kind of shift my thinking on, where for the longest I was like, I don't want to do independent kids.
On our first podcast, you said, nah.
yeah. I didn't want to do it unless I felt like we had a really original take that was honest, right? That wasn't just trying to be shocking or contrarian, and have it just kind of come from the chest, right? Like every story that I work on always is a piece of me. And I threw the idea at Ryan. I was like, are you even interested in doing superheroes? Here's the idea. It's not going to necessarily be what people are expecting, right? It's not about the action. The action is always a result of something else that is emotionally driven. It's about the characters. There's going to be a lot of sort of emotional and physical intimacy in this book. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask him about sort of what his internal reaction was, but something about the alcohol running through our veins was it translated to the word yes.
Listen, all the stories I've heard from English creators, we're talking, Morrison, we're talking about UK. Let's get to UK, right? So we got, Morrison, we got Moore, we got all these folks. And all these folks are talking about how they go to a particular pub, and they're having their drinks, and the greatest stories were created at a bar.
Yeah.
So talk to me about, just you being a little bit under the influence and meeting this homie when he pitched you that idea.
Do you need to know the name of the bar?
that was actually, I think, a part of the tactic. It was like,
it happens. Let's be real. I mean, all us creators, if we're a little tipsy, we get a little bit more loose, and it's all right. I'm not endorsing for you guys to drink. I'm just saying that it just opens up doors sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. It was also a little bit of exhaustion from 3 days of being at a convention too.
I've been there when I went to the Chicago Comic Con. I was there the whole weekend. I arrived on a Monday morning. I was supposed to do a video. I backed up my car and then passed out. Yeah, my neighbor called the ambulance and the cop thinking I was dead, bro. Yeah, they thought I was dead. I said, "Oh shit, no, I'm just tired." So yes, con crud is real, people. All right.
Yeah, and I leveraged that to make this podcast.
No, I mean, I had a very positive reaction. I was definitely on board because, like, when you are working in indies, I feel like you run into a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm just going to do my version of Batman and call it something else. And there's really no point to it.
You're talking about Nemesis.
But you do get a lot of people that they don't really have like a point or a purpose into like the books they're making necessarily in terms of like depth. And it just comes across as kind of like, I just want to make a comic book. Here's my fan idea. But like working with Trevor is definitely, I really enjoy like the depths and the layers to things. And I think that bolsters a lot of the stuff that we do in the comic because there are stakes, there are reasons to it. You just get more invested than if it was just two guys in superhero outfits just punching each other.
That's what Trevor does, man. He's an amazingly talented creator, and he knows. I mean, I haven't met too many creators, young creators like himself that think like an old schooler. Like for real, he takes a real old school approach, but he knows how to like pick a squad. So like, Trevor, let me get to you on that. Like, what do you look for when you're building a squad of talent? Because again, your books are gorgeous. The artistry, Area 51, the Minutes to Midnight, and a whole lot more. I mean, that you keep bringing into the game. It's like, how do you keep this up, and how do you, kind of like navigate finding that new talent?
I mean, over the 3 years that I've been doing this now, it's changed a lot. In the beginning, it was a little bit more of a crapshoot, a little bit more like this is a talented person. But like the more you get to know your story, you realize what that's going to need, right? In terms of like the personality of the artist's style and what their skill set is. So for me, like every project has been super different. And ironically, I think that the Rise team, like above all my books, kind of is probably my best job at putting a group together in terms of like cohesion. And everybody's strengths kind of playing to each other, and even like our weaknesses kind of being covered up by each other.
Did you know that in advance?
I had an idea, like I mean, because so I had fortunately worked with Ryan on that short story in Minutes to Midnight, the bear market businessman, and he had covered up my weaknesses because I was getting repetitive in some of the direction, and he knew sort of emotionally, like and atmospherically, tonally, what we were going for or what I was trying to put on the page, but not communicating well, and so he would kind of make these suggestions in the layouts that made them more dynamic, made them more fluid, and ultimately made like the character acting feel more impactful. And doing something like Rise that is so emotionally driven, so character driven, that needed to be at the forefront. So I knew that was going to help. And when we had Fabi Marquez coloring issue 1, she's one of the best working colorists in the industries today in terms of talent and her ability and her passion for what she does. And Matthias, funnily enough, we brought him onto Bear Market Businessman as well, that same short story, to letter, because I was going to letter it, and I realized like I'm an all right like amateur letterer, but I'm at a point in my career like I don't want to put out anything that has any remote amateur quality to it. So
bring it. Yeah, I can bring that A game. And we have a wonderful gentleman here that's just curious about you. Go look, buy, support amazing independent creators, my homie. Don't you worry. You ain't interrupted. We want to see the fans. Come on here.
But yeah, so Matthias, the cool thing about Matthias is he's very good at getting like an overhead look, a bird's eye view of what the project is and what it's building toward. And he wraps it in a bow, right? Stylistically, with his lettering, with his design, with the way it flows. I mean, like there was something really special when we got the lettering pass back for Rise 1 and seeing these words come to life and seeing some of the design elements like really, really put like the perfect wrapping on what Ryan and Fabi were able to do in that first issue. It's funny because like in these interviews, right, I talk about like my aversion to even really doing indie capes, but there was something really special about seeing the internal caption box design, as simple as it is, right? Because that always felt like a special thing to me when I read superhero comics. Like I remember reading the New 52 Batman and seeing like Batman's internal monologue. There was a little bat logo in a gray caption box with white text, and I was like, there's something like inherently like tied to the genre.
And thank you for bringing New 52 up, because when it came out, people shitted on it, and now all of a sudden, several years later, people are like, you know what, it wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't that bad. Don't do that. I enjoyed so many things out of that, but whatever.
Yeah, and the world is cyclical, right? That happens all the time. And if it wasn't for that New 52 Batman, like I wouldn't be here today. That was
you hear this? No Trev without New 52. Listen, the world is blessed. I'm going to show you. Look at these covers, folks. Look at this.
And then
look at that. And that's Rise, the one we're talking about right there. I mean, look at this. Look at that banner. Remember that name. You're gonna see, TFL everywhere, baby.
You can't forget that.
And then of course you got the homie, the artist. I mean, look at this. Look at this beautiful art.
So my art banner is actually a little bit of a tease at Ryan Best's wraparound cover for the 3rd issue of the book. So his banner is a piece of the wraparound cover from issue 2, which is currently close to the finish line of production, and it's gorgeous, beautiful work.
Let's tease you a little bit, folks. I mean, look at some art over here. I mean, look, what a boss. Marvel, DC, where you at? I mean, don't take them away from travel, but yeah, you know what I mean? Everybody needs these bigger checks right now. Look at that. A real good looking Hellboy, not like that movie thing I saw. My God. I don't know about y'all, but listen, only Ron Perlman is Hellboy. Come on, let's stop it. See, you got an AI Ron Perlman. But I mean, look at that beautiful art. We got a fan in the house too, doing some things and looking and perusing as we're talking about the incredible books, from this family over here, this creative family, Ryan Best, and of course, TFL, Trevor Fernandez Linkerich. Yeah, I learned how to say the name. Yeah! I dig it. So talk about the signing today. Like, what are we talking about? What's the expect to see? What's up?
Yeah, so we've got
Wonderland Comics in the house, baby.
Wonderland Comics, baby, Putnam, Connecticut. Inarguably one of the best stores on the East Coast.
It is. Not because I'm 15 minutes from here in Massachusetts and I have a couple of shops in Mass. But this store is impressive. It's beautiful, and the people are so great.
Well, a testament to this place too is the space is beautiful. It's so well organized. It's so well put together. You don't see this in comic book stores often and still have it maintain like the personal element, right? Like
You ain't lying.
the only time you see a well organized comic book store, half the time it's this big corporate machine. These are real people, like real wonderful people who
Mom
like
and pop shop here, folks.
yeah, who like to support comics, who love comics, and they still manage to put together a beautiful space. And it's a privilege to be here as always. There's a good chance like I don't even have a career without the kindness of Zach and Kristen, who have been supporters of mine since.
Zach and Chris, big shout out! Yo, for real, check out their website too. They got a nice pull list. You can order your stuff, get it, and all. Great shop, and they're really supportive of me because I'll be honest. It takes me a minute to pick up my stuff just because of how life goes. But when I do pick up everything, though, there's no way I would never let a shop, I have to put my shit on the shelf ever. I will pay and make sure you support your LCSs because these are very important hubs, if you will.
Totally agree.
And this nerddom that we all love.
They're also like the epicenter of our culture, right? Like the comic book culture, it doesn't exist without the shops. But yeah, we're going to be here until close, basically, signing copies of Minutes to Midnight, signing copies of Rise. I know Ryan's going to be open to doing some custom sketches if people are interested.
You hear this? Custom sketches, signatures, dope comic books that are not big too. You got to support independent comics. It's TFL, it's Ryan best in the building, because they're the best in the business. That's no pun intended. I'm just saying. Yeah, this is what it is. At this beautiful shop. I mean, look at this. I'm in the back, and I still have space behind me. But look how deep this shop goes, mi gente. Wonderland Comics, Putnam, Connecticut, baby. This is where it's at. Supporting create like this. Now, I know that there's a dope convention coming up this weekend, Trev, and I know that you will be making an appearance. Is Ryan going to be with you too?
Absolutely.
So talk about it. Where are you going to be at this weekend?
Ryan and I will be at Terrificon in the Mohegan Sun all weekend, Friday through Sunday, at tables H11 and 12. We'll be right up against each other.
You got two tables. Hey, pimpins, huh?
We did. We've got some real estate. And of course, we got to show off some of this beautiful artwork.
I mean, again, look at it. Talk, Trevor. Talk as I show off. But again, look at this beautiful stuff here.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
So we'll have copies of our comic book work. Ryan's got some really beautiful prints that he's done exclusively for conventions, and is obviously down to draw you a really beautiful custom commission, which the man will pile up with more than he can manage very fast. So I recommend if you're coming to Terrificon, you want a piece of Ryan Best art, get in there as soon as possible and see if he's down to draw you something beautiful.
ASAP. Because I mean, look at that. Do you see this artistry, folks? What? Come on now.
And
Ryan, you're a boss, bro.
Signatures are always free as well, too. So you come by,
they're not going to charge you $5 per signature, like some artists that I know. So if you come down here, you support them, get a great book, you get a free sig, then you talk to our man Ryan and get a beautiful gift. Listen, Christmas is actually around the corner, not for 9. So hit them up right now and get a dope gift for the significant other in your life.
Agreed.
Like for real. And then Trev, since you're a good writer, you should do postcards and do mini stories when you meet someone. Like I'll make in the house. You see me, like, all right, I'm gonna do a short story about you on a postcard that has, one of your IPs on it, and that story is unique to me.
That could be cool.
Yeah,
that's a good
bro.
idea.
And this on the spot, it shows off how amazing you are. And I want to say something. I've been staring at this. I am jealous. I love this fucking Kirk. Folks, look at his shirt. You know what? The king himself. Yo, where you got that shirt, bro?
So the Jack Kirby Museum had a really cool booth at San Diego Comic-Con this year. And
you were at Sandy, baby. I was Sandy for you this year.
It was good. It was my first time. It was really cool.
Oh, you popped your cherry this
I
year.
did. I
hope you didn't bleed much.
No, it was too dry. No, I was conserving all the water I possibly could. It was like Dune. But no, it was a beautiful show. It's huge. It's sprawling. I think the thing that makes it crazy is as opposed to New York, New York's a little compartmentalized, you have the show floor, you have the artist alley, you have the panel space. San Diego, almost everything being on this one big sprawling floor is just whoa.
A continuous floor.
Yeah.
That does not stop.
But you know what? It was amazing. I got to reconvene with old friends, make some new ones, talk to people who love doing what we do. And it is the Mecca for a reason, right? It is the granddaddy of all Comic-Cons for a reason. And I look forward to going back. I look forward to being a part of that, part of the culture. And hopefully one of these days I can drag this guy along with me, and we'll scribble our names on some more comic books.
Yeah, bro, you better start visiting. Are you guys hitting New York Comic Con this year in October?
We'll be on foot. Yeah, we'll be on foot.
So we'll be there. You'll hear my loud Puerto Rican ass screaming "Wepa" in the aisles as I meet amazing creators. That because one of my favorite things, when at least what happened last year, I was in New York Comic Con and walking through Artist Alley, wearing my gear, and people from tables would say, "Yo, Mega!" I'm like, "Oh shit!" And, showing me love. This is why I love this community. It's like, it's great. It's just wonderful energy, creative people. I mean, it's so positive. Please don't listen to the socials, mi gente. The comic book community is not that negative. I promise you. Like, you go to a show, you see none of that.
Yeah.
And I think my man here could attest to that. So I can't wait to Terrific Con. People get to see what you're doing here. Both of you, I mean, amazing work. So, before we go, bro, talk to me. Like, what we got coming up next in the TFL universe, and what is best being included in?
Oh my God. Well, I mean, Ryan and I are chugging away with Rise. So as of issue 2, Ryan is actually taking over coloring duties on the series. So this beautiful rendering that you see, it's going to be a little bit different stylistically, but just to get a taste of what he's capable of, Ryan drew and colored both of our banners.
That's him?
Yeah, that's all Ryan.
Man, yo, I quiet, bro.
That's all him.
That slap, that shit is real. Look how beautiful that is.
So, we're getting some color flatting assists by Carl Dutchin, who's been an absolute workhorse. And Ryan's just starting the coloring. All the inks are finished. So we're making our move to wrap up Rise issue 2. I'm wrapping the script on Rise issue 3 sometime in the next 2 weeks, so that by the time he's done, we're ready to start chugging away on that. In between Rise 2 and 3, my plan is to release a horror one-shot through Kickstarter.
Hey, man, love it. Look, my man don't stop working. Look, I'm going to show you this shit again. This is why he is one of my favorite independent creators. This man don't stop working. TFL, baby. Trevor Fernandez Lenkevich. That's for real. You guys got to stay tuned. This is Marvel DC. Like, I mean, he don't need you, but you need him. All right.
Him too, man. I mean, like
both of you. Listen, man, I can't imagine you two working on a big 2 property. That shit would be fucking crazy.
Yeah, you want to do Venom? Let's do Venom.
Yeah,
let's do Venom. But yeah, no. So we're super stoked, chugging away. Rise will be, wrapping on issue 5, which is going to be, these oversized like 40 page issues. So
it's just 5 issues. That's it. Is there any a possible continuation?
There's a chance. I think there's a chance for more. I think 5 is us telling the story we want to tell and giving it the ending that we want.
Okay.
I think it's left
with an opening though, right?
It's left in a place not sort of the story we wanted to tell. The emotional core is at the end of issue 5.
I just want to say this before you can say, you heard that, folks? You said emotional core. For you ladies out there, don't believe that men are emotional. Look, did you just hear what he said?
So once issue 5's wrapped, we have that done, and we actually were talking last night maybe about what comes next for us as a creative team post Rise, and maybe jumping back into sci-fi, and Ryan joining me for that in a kind of a dystopian sci-fi future type of joint.
Oh my God, I'm kind of scared already, because if Ryan's gonna write some dystopian stuff, it's gonna be a lot scarier than anything Mad Max could do.
I mean, like you look at his character design, man. I have no doubt the world is going to be populated with some incredible stuff.
Listen, his last name Best is not just that for a reason, because he is the best in the game right now. Yeah, do I have to show you again? Just a little come on, anyway.
So yeah, we're excited. Keep pushing ourselves, pushing this story, and hopefully having a finished, complete package that really makes this stand out among the plethora of stories in the superhero genre, and making it stick. Just really, I mean, this Rise is no doubt already the most successful thing I've ever done. Is probably going to continue to be the most successful thing I've ever done. And a huge part of that is Ryan and having
funny. You didn't want to do this, kind of, and then next thing you know, isn't it funny? Like sometimes you get the things that you don't want to do are the ones that bring you the most benefit.
Well, it's interesting. I think the part of it was that it took a lot of care, right? Because I knew if I did this, I needed to do it with the right people. I needed to come from the right place.
You got the best,
and I do have the best. And wanted to make sure that that's how it came through. Like I think I've never been more stressed out writing a project before, because I want the little things, you know, the tropes of the genre to reflect something a little bit deeper, right? Like the rescue scene, the appearance, the shirt rip revealing, you know, the logo, everything I want to matter. I want it to mean something, right? So, and that's a lot. Like this genre has been occupied for 86 years, and it's because it's periodicals, right? It's comics. You have hundreds of stories coming out every month in this genre, doing things and wanting to show my love to the things that inspire me, but also offer my voice, right? And my collaborators' voice. It's a difficult balance, and I'm really proud. You know, I think the reception for Rise has been amazing, and people have really embraced it with open arms. And to me, you know, it's a good sign that we are moving in the right direction. We're treading that path, and hopefully telling a story that sticks with people, that they relate to, beyond just seeing something that might vaguely look like a Superman. So yeah, I'm stoked. I guess I can't say we, but I feel pretty good about it.
I'm sure he's stoked about it. It's a beautiful book, man. How confident are you about this dope project, man? When you got in, like, how do you feel about Rise?
Oh, I'm super confident. I do think it's probably the best work I've put out in like sequential storytelling.
Oh, wonderful. So what's up, man? So after Rise, need to know here, because, you know, again, we're at Wonderland Comics in Putnam, Connecticut, folks. They have a signing. You'll get commissions and all that stuff right here at this wonderful shop. What's up in the future? What's going on? Next projects, next everything we need to know, next conventions.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants, you know, if they can't make it here today, we need to know where we can, in fact, see you outside of Terrific Con this weekend at the Mohegan Sun. Right? Hey.
Yeah. Outside of that, Ryan and I will be coming back together for Baltimore Comic-Con in late September. So you can look forward to that. And let's see. After that, we'll both be on foot at New York. If for whatever reason you bring copies of Rise and you want to track us down,
bring them. They're gonna be there. Just if anything, folks, just Trevor, Ryan B. And you just scream, and they'll hear you. Don't worry.
We'll be around. So yeah, if you want us to sign, you want to track us down at New York Comic Con, I'm sure, you know, either one of us are more than happy to vandalize your books. But outside of that, I will be at the Memphis Comic Expo the end of October. November, I'll be at Thought Bubble in Harrogate in the UK with our guy Johnny.
Oh, snap.
And I'll be signing kind of up and down the UK for a little bit. I think our first stop is going to be Forbidden Planet in Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh, nice. Forbidden Planet. I've been to the one in New York. You been to the one in New York?
Yeah. It's one of my favorite shops.
Did you go to the OG, though, when it was on the corner before they moved it?
No. I've only been to, what is it, on 14th?
Yeah. You get off at 14th Street. It's right there, but it's in the middle of the block. The OG was actually on the corner. It was a bigger store.
Oh. I didn't realize it was bigger.
Oh, yeah, it was bigger, in my opinion. It wasn't big. Same thing, I used to go to Jim Hanley's Universe across the street from Empire State Building. And then when they moved, I'm like, wow, this is like half the size.
That's
and
comics.
now they're gone.
That's
Sadly,
comics, man.
that's the thing. Like, folks, please support your LCSs. Like this wonderful shop. I'm going to show you again. Look at the beauty of this shop. They got everything for you. I mean, and she go deep. And I mean, organized. The boxes are not tight. You could actually look through and find your back issues. You know what I mean? So check out Wonderland Comics. It supports amazing creators like Ryan Best and my man here, Trevor Fernandez. I mean, this is what it is. I mean, again, look at it. Now, that's the tap right there. That's the tap right there, yo. Holy shit.
Listen, I'm like, if Rise 3 makes 20K on Kickstarter, you know, we were talking like, we'll get Rise tattoos for the gang, you know?
Let's make that happen. And they need to record the pain they're going to go through, because let's make sure that they get large tattoos. I'm thinking, bro, let's go, bro. Shit, I'll be down to do that shit too. Let's go.
Yo, all three of us get massive chest pieces.
Yo, let's go. Listen, I'm 49 years old, but I still rise. Hey, grandpa, not trying to be fresh. Man. All right, no pills. Anyway,
it's all
but this is what it is, man. This is fun. This is why we take independent comic creators. And again, look at the artistry from Ryan Best. Look at the books that homie Trevor has put together in this. You know what I mean? So, yo, Trev, if folks are not in Connecticut and not able to pick up Minutes to Midnight, Area 51, Rise, and more, like, where can they go today to fill up their comic book boxes.
Yeah, so if you track me down on socials, I have link trees in the bio of all my socials with my website, my store. I'm in the middle of changing my domain name, but right now you can find me at darkknightnation.com/PWP for Pocket Watch Press. But I just bought the domain for pocketwatchpress.net.
Yay! You should have been done that, man.
I know. I'm bad, man. I mean,
it's not bad. It's just in the journey. A lot of us don't learn everything at once, and we worry about producing something, and don't worry about should I be protecting my name?
Right.
And I get that. That's the journey. Again, I would want to help any independent creators. I would always definitely say that once you come up with your name, don't wait. Buy it all, get it all, and then do your shit. But just make sure you got your brand.
Yeah, so finally pick that up. I'll be applying that to the website, and hopefully at some point this summer doing a little bit of a redesign to the site, because it kind of still has some old baggage from when I was doing YouTube, and I really want to focus on entirely on the creative element. So you can find me there on Twitter at PWatchPress or Twix X, whatever you want to call it. On Instagram at Pocket Watch Press, Facebook Pocket Watch Press. And on Threads, also at Pocket Watch Press.
He owns the name everywhere, and he finally got the website. Congrats. What about you, Big Ryan Best? What up? Where can we follow you?
Ryan Best Art on Instagram, ryanbestart.com, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So, Ryan, before we go, I want to ask you a question as an artist. What comic book character, if given the opportunity, would you love to work on the most?
Venom or Predator? Either one.
Ooh, yo, you know what? Looking at your art, okay. Do you have a Predator piece anyway? I gotta see one now.
Do you have that old print? I just sold the my Predator piece that was in my portfolio.
You sold it because you see, folks, it was that hot that we can't even see it because it got bought out instantly. So with that, let me tell you, this is Al Mega with the amazing team from Rise. Yes. Homie came repping a king, and it's okay, it's forgivable. But what happens is that this is what you got to come down to support. These amazing, beautiful books, this amazing, beautiful artistry. Like, you're right. I know you're working with Trev, and I don't want to take you away from Trev. But, are you out there available for work,
For short, small things. If like cover work I'm open for right now, but probably not any more sequentials at the moment.
You hear that, folks? If we need some cover work for an amazing artist, I mean, look at this stuff. Jesus Christ. You know where to go. Just check out Ryan Best and share his socials. I'll make sure to put those in the show notes after this, because we are, in fact, live in Putnam, Connecticut with these two amazing creators at a signing, all right? You got commissions here. Wonderland Comics in Putnam, Connecticut. Yeah, if y'all don't know, y'all better know, all right? So let me do a real quick flip over here. Listen, I know you ain't heard me before, but this shop is amazing. A lot of great stuff. Show love to the owners, to the staff, to everyone that's here, because this is what comic books is all about. It's an amazing shop. And again, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Trev, for hanging out. I know it took you from your table. I got somebody waiting in the background for you. Like, I want to buy these books. So let me not stop that any further. With that, hasta la próxima, gente. You know what it is. Wepa!